So you watched my first video about latch and how to get the baby on right, and you're following directions, but you're still having trouble and you're waiting for an appointment with a lactation consultant, or maybe you already are working with a lactation consultant through some really difficult and challenging situations and really working to get to exclusive breastfeeding. So whatever the case, we must feed the baby on the way to breastfeeding, because in lactation we live by 3 rules. Number 1 is feed the baby. Number 2 is protect the milk supply. So I'm sure you're pumping and keeping your milk supply up. And number 3 is protect the breastfeeding relationship. And that's what this video is all about, is protecting your relationship, your breastfeeding relationship with your baby. So we're going to have to do that with a bottle. So what I usually see is people giving a bottle in a way that undermines breastfeeding. They think they're doing it right, but they're really undermining breastfeeding. We have the baby, I see this a lot, baby in arms and bottle up so that the baby doesn't swallow air. Okay, let's think about this for a minute. Imagine how you would feel if you were a little helpless baby and somebody leaned you back and put the bottle in your mouth like this. First thing you're going to do is hump the back of your tongue to protect your airway. Because if a baby needs to choose suck, swallow, or breathe, they pick breathing. Okay? The next thing that's going to happen, because babies are very smart, very clever, they'll figure out, oh, every single time I suck, I get a big fat mouthful of milk. And this is nothing like the breastfeeding experience, because sometimes with breastfeeding the milk is flowing fast and sometimes it's slowing down to a mere trickle. Okay, so we want to most closely match the bottle feeding to the breastfeeding experience. We're never going to exactly match it, but we can get a lot closer than this. Okay, so here's how we do it. We're going to sit the baby kind of toward your knee, and the positioning instructions that I gave you in the last video still apply here. You're going to put slightly modified. The karate chop point of your hand is going to support the baby between the shoulder blades. Still you have the thumb and fingers behind the ears. You're going to sit the baby as vertically as you can. You can't sit the baby bolt upright because they'll just topple forward. But you're going to sit the baby up slightly, just so that it's as vertical as possible. And then you're going to give the baby, you're not going to just stick the nipple in the baby's mouth. You're going to give the baby the bottle in a similar way as you give the breast. You're going to just lay the nipple right on that upper lip, wait for the baby to open its mouth, and then when it does, you're going to put the bottle in like this and hold the bottle horizontal with just milk reaching the tip of the nipple. You don't want it gravity fed. You don't want to tilt it up. You want to just have it horizontal. It's okay if the baby sucks in a little bit of air. They will just burp. That is not at all what makes gas. Gas is produced much farther down in the digestive system, and it's from fermentation. If the baby swallows air, they're just going to burp. It's like you drinking a Pepsi. It doesn't give you gas, you just burp because you swallowed air. Okay, so you're going to have the bottle like this, and then you're going to let the baby suck about a dozen or so times, 12 to 15 sucks. And then once the baby's gotten that much, then leaving the nipple in the baby's mouth, you're going to tilt the whole thing down like this and let the baby have an empty nipple for about 15 to 30 seconds. Baby won't suck the whole time. He'll go, and this is fine. It's giving the baby a little break. Then after 15 to 30 seconds, you bring the bottle back to the horizontal, another 12 to 15 sucks, and then another break. And that's the pattern, 12 to 15 sucks, and then a break for 15 to 30 seconds. This is called pacing the feed, and it is an experience from the baby's perspective that's much more similar to feeding at the breast. Again, not exactly, and we don't want it to be exact. We want to match the pace But we want the baby's attitude to be, okay, if this is what I have to do to eat, I will, but I'd really rather be breastfeeding. That's why I discourage you cuddling your baby while giving a bottle, okay? Because we want this to be about business. This is about feeding. The baby gets food and love at the same time at breast, okay? So this is how you do a paced bottle feed. And speaking of bottles, I do have a preference. This is not a marketing tool, and it is. I don't get anything from the makers of breast flow bottles, but I like these bottles the best. Whatever brand you use, you want to make sure it's a slow flow nipple. But I like breast flow because they have this really short little small part of the nipple, and it goes wide. It's got this. It's a double nipple. It's got a little conical nipple on the inside and this soft silicone one on the outside, and it forces the baby to use both suction and compression to get milk out. And I find that this bottle, in my experience, is the least likely to cause a flow preference, especially when combined with the paced bottle feeding. So there you have it. My very best wishes to you as you move forward with your efforts to exclusive breastfeeding. I hope if you've gotten to this video that you are already working with a lactation consultant. And if you're not, please feel free to reach out to me on my website, and I'll do the best I can to help you. Okay?